Okay, let's start our class today. So today 有没有人帮忙把前面灯关一下？你们这样看比较清楚。Today we are gonna teach you about plot and graph. We'll focus on plot more because it's what you will be using a lot. So what does a plot do? Plot creates a 2D line plot of the data in y versus x. It's content of line segments. So you can either so you actually input several data of x, y coordinates, and you'll connect the line between them for you. And also you can plot multiple sets of coordinates so that you can create multiple lines with just one call. So this is how you input. Just plot x, y. Pretty easy. Like so this is an example. So as you can see, this means the first point is 1, 9, and the second point is 3, 8. The third point is 5, 5. You input it as a row vector or a column vector, it doesn't matter. Like this. The first one was input as row vectors, and this one it's actually row vector and column vector, and it can still turn out like this. So we have more examples here. Like the first one, as you can see, all the data points are in vector, or you can say matrix. So you can do it like this. X equals to 0 and 0.01 pi to 2 pi. So this creates a huge number of array, and it will calculate every element inside for you and input sy and plot xy. So as you can see, it's just simple. So we get 0 to x is 0 to 2 pi, which is 6 point something, and it's a sine function. And also you can use this linspace. So what does linspace mean? Linspace is actually pretty similar to this, but this you assign the min value, max value, and the difference between each value. But in this linspace, you define it as min value, max value, and how many values do you want. So this means you want 1000 data points between 0 to 2 pi. This is what this means. So this leads to this simple cosine. And also, you can do it simply with plot y. You don't need to define x. If you only input y, then it will give you x as y index value, which means the first number is, this means from the 0, index 0 to index 1000. And the y value is on this axis. So now if you are careful enough, you can see every time I input a new plot, the figure actually changes. The previous line is no longer there. So how do you plot multiple lines in a single figure? So there are actually 3 ways to do it. The first way, you do it as a matrix, that you got multiple columns of values. Like this. So you get 2 lines now. The first line, the blue line, is x equals to 135. And the first line is actually, the y value is 5, 8, and 6. And the second line is 9, 8, and 5. So you get multiple lines by doing this. And the second way to do this is just simply x, y1, and then x, y2. And you can also get 2 different lines. At least one is sine and one is cosine. So you get 2 different lines, x1, y1, and x2, y2. And the third way to do this, you actually add another line called hold, another command called hold on. Actually, it would be better if I do this. So if you plot the first line and then you give it a command, hold on, it will no longer refresh the first line. It will add the second line, second plot, to the first plot. So after reading it, it gives you this figure. There are 2 lines on the plot. These are the 3 ways to draw the line. Multiple lines on one plot. And of course, you can do 3 lines, 4 lines, 5 lines. It's up to you. Then we'll talk about line spec. What is line spec? So you can actually define its color and its line style. And if you want marker on it. Or line style in MATLAB, it gives you 4 kind of choices: solid line, dashed line, dotted line, and dash dot line. So you define it like this. So as you can see, now I get a dotted sine function and a dash dot cosine function. And also, in the same way, you can define a marker. These are all the markers you can use in MATLAB. And also you can define its color. There are eight default color, and you can also use the RGB triplet to define your own color. And other related syntax, I won't actually talk much about this. You can search this, search how to do it using the documentation right here, search documentation. Like if I want to search title, how to add title. And then it will say it right here. So this is how you add a title for your plot. Because these things are pretty simple, so you can just search it by yourself. These are some related syntax: legend, title, X label, Y label, X limit, Y limit, and text. So next, we go to plot 3. So what is plot 3? It actually gives you a plot of a 3D space, a line plot. So different from just plot. Plot is in 2D. This gives you a figure of 3D. So you need the X, Y, and Z coordinate for it to do. So this is an example right here. Oh yeah, I forgot I still have the hold on. So let me clear this first. So using plot 3, you get a 3D figure of this. And this is X coordinate, Y coordinate, and Z coordinate. X, Y, Z. Like this, it gives you a spirals going up. And yeah, so just like the plot in 2D, you can get multiple lines in one 3D plot, and in the same ways also the 3 ways. So this is the first way. You actually do x1, y1, z1, x2, y2, z2. Just like in plots 2D. So you'll get something like this. You get 2 different lines, one in orange and one in blue. And you can do it as column vectors. So this actually defines you as the first column. You get this second column in X matrix. It computes this. And the third column is this. So it gives you these 3 lines because you got 3 different columns of X, Y, Z's. One reminder though, you don't need to have like this. You have 3 columns in X, 3 columns in Y, but you have only 1 column in Z. So it will actually give Z to both Z coordinates to both 3 columns, as you can see. So every point for Z, for the Z axis, is actually the same value. They share the same value in Z axis. And of course, you can use hold on, and I didn't show you here. You can use hold on and just do multiple plot series. And let's go to bar chart. There's actually not much to say, just creating a bar chart with a set of numbers. And of course, it's input by in column or row vector. So you get a bar chart like this. This is the X value from 1 to 10. This is what you've been saying to it. And the Y value, the first one is 75, second one 58, like this. So it shows you every bar. And of course, for every figures, if you don't like the look of it, like let's say if you want to change the text size, you want to change the color or something, you can just simply check inside document and see what you can change about it. Like the bar chart, you can see there are many configurations you can do, like face color, edge color, line width, etc. I won't cover all of it here because it's just too many. If you need this, just go search the documentation for yourself. And yeah, bar chart is simply as this. And then I'm gonna talk about contour. So what is a contour? It's a 2D plot, but it actually involves x, y, and z value. So let me just show you. So this is what a contour looks like. Like this, I give you an x value from 0 to 10, y value from 0 to 10 also. And here is a new line called mesh grid. So what does this do? This is actually essential for contour, and the next we are going to talk about surface. You also need to use this command, mesh grid. So it actually returns you so x, y are all 0 to 10. But now you use mesh grid, it gives you like 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, all the way to 0, 10. And then 1, 1, 0, 1, 2. So it gives you all the data points of the x, y. So this is what mesh grid means. Because in contour, you need every data point. Every single point in this 0 to 10 square it need to evaluate. So this is the x value, y value, and then the z value. And I set it as x plus y. So as you can see, it goes like this. This means the x plus y value on this line is a constant. And x plus y value on this line is also a constant. On this line is a constant. Every line is a constant. This is what a contour looks like. And of course, here are more examples. You can also use linspace to create the vector for x and y. So this gives you this plot. And so the z is sine x plus cosine y. So on this line, it means the sine x plus cosine y is a constant on this line. And it's another constant on this line. And this is another example. As you can see, this is something I say you can actually modify it by yourself. Like this, I use another command called show text on. So it actually gives you what the z value is on this line for you with this command right here. And of course, because this is in the matrix or vector form, so calculating this, you need to do it as dot multiply and dot power, not only power or only or only multiply because it's in matrix and you want it to calculate element by element. And then the last part is surface plot. So it creates a three-dimensional surface for you. Well, you also need to use a mesh grid for this, for surface, because it's also you need to calculate every x and y in your domain. So it gives you something like this. You get a 3D surface. But in MATLAB, it actually gives you a poor, very poor quality. So but part of it is because actually, as you can see, using mesh grid, it actually gives you a value every 0.5. So if you do it like, let's say I want a value every 0.1. Let's say 0.01. Let's see if the quality is better. Oh yeah, it's much better filled with points. So actually not more is better. You need to find a suitable amount of points for you. So for the homework, I want you to draw 3 lines in one graph. As you can see, only x, this is only a function of t. And you have only one value, so you only need to do a 2D plot, 2D line plot. And they are with the same formula, but each with different numbers. And I want the first line to be solid, second line to be dashed, third line to be dotted. And I want you to show legend. So you will need to check how to call the legend in documents by yourself. And hand it in before next Tuesday, 11:59 p.m. So, yeah, I know you have quiz, you have exam this week, so this is actually a pretty easy homework for you. So this is today's class.